Hey Food Slayers, it's Michelle here. Pouring raining today, but I wanted to make this video because, of course, it's podcast episode time. And this week we're talking about cultured meat, aka in vitro meat, lab-grown meat, mystery meat, Franken meat, whatever you want to call it. But, we're digging into it because there are a lot of really big tech companies that are, being invested in. They're raising millions and millions of dollars in order to, prove the concept, basically, and prove the viability of this product to be able to reduce, greenhouse gas emissions from, conventional animal agriculture, right? They are also trying to reduce animal cruelty, because we all know that, big, animal agriculture CAFOs are, they've been found out, to be very cruel to animals, and that's all across the board, whether it is beef, pigs, whether it's chickens, turkeys, you name it, even fish, right? So, there are, I should say, some baseline reasons for this technology to be in creation, so to speak. But the real question is lab-grown meat really going to solve these problems? When you're talking about economies of scale, the reason why we have CAFOs in the first place is because of our consumption. We want to eat meat. And I think these are really good people who want to do something good, right, for the environment. They want to make money. They want to reduce animal cruelty, like all of these really noble reasons. But has anybody really talked about the other side, the flip side? What are the externalities of this new technology on our food supply? What happens to our health when we start to eat manufactured meat? What happens to our relationship with the land and with animals once we start, manufacturing this product? There's also a marketing issue with lab-grown meat, because, who wants to eat something called lab-grown meat? So now they want to call it cultured meat, because that apparently sounds better. In focus groups, people are more open to trying lab-grown meat, especially vegans, vegetarians, and animal activists. It's reasonable. But in this week's episode, we're going to explore some of these questions, and it's really interesting what I've discovered. And so I encourage you to listen into the podcast this week, because I think it's really important. There are a lot of companies, big agribusiness companies, that are investing millions and millions of dollars, like companies like Cargill and Tyson and lots of others. And I don't want to drop a lot of names. Those are the two big ones that are investing a lot of money in this technology. But these companies are also responsible for animal cruelty, environmental degradation, and price fixing, and things like that. They're responsible for a lot of our food supply. And so, the question becomes, is it ethical? Is it really going to reduce greenhouse gases in the long term? Will it actually increase emissions? Because these factories have to stay sterile. They have to run 24/7. Is it really going to reduce animal cruelty? Because animals still have to be used in this process. And I got to tell you, what I've discovered, it's really, it's pretty cruel what they're doing in order to be able to facilitate manufacturing beef for hamburgers, or manufacturing chicken, manufacturing fish, manufacturing pork. They're even working on eggs and milk. and foie gras for all you fancy folks out there who like to eat, duck liver, fancy duck liver at fancy restaurants. So I encourage you to listen in. I really appreciate your support. If you listened to last week's episode, you know that I talked a lot about food banks, and I talked a lot about Cargill. Cargill was a part of that kind of conundrum as well. And so I think it's just really important to stay informed and pull back the curtain on a lot of these things so that we know what we're getting in our food supply chain. And that's really all I wanted to say in this video. I appreciate you listening to the podcast. Thank you for subscribing. Subscribe to this channel. It really helps me out a lot. And it gets the word out there. I think this is really important information. So I hope that you share this video with someone that you love. And if you've got some extra time, I invite you to listen to the interview that I did with Claudia Cometa, who runs the Peace Advocacy group. And her podcast is called Minding Wellness. And she and I talked about a lot of stuff going in the food supply chain. So the link will be down in the description. So I encourage you to listen to that episode as well. And, thanks again. I really appreciate it. I hope that you're enjoying your December so far. And, that's it. Stay tuned. Sign up for the podcast newsletter so that you get exclusive podcast updates. If you want to support this work and you want to support my podcast, and all you can do is subscribe to this channel, do it. Or subscribe to your favorite podcast platform, Food Slaying, and get the notifications for the episodes every week, do that. If you can do more and you want to support me on Patreon, go to patreon.com/foodslaying. I appreciate all of my patrons. You can make a one-time donation on the website. You can buy something good. So there's lots of ways that you can support me and support this work that I'm doing. Now I'm going to get out of the rain and go take care of my business. But until the next time, remember, eat clean, eat healthy, love your food, stay informed, and I'll see you on the other side of the plate. Ciao.